it's over. You see, marketing has gone way too far. Well, I can't even say it's marketing right now. It's more of brainwashing. They implant an idea in your mind which grows and grows every single day until it influences every single thought, idea, and action you take, all biased towards that one marketing campaign. You might ask why I'm saying this to you. Well, it was all because of one question I had a long time ago. What is the best solution to stop global warming and pollution? And when I asked this to my friends, family, and neighbors, they all said various things. They said reduce fossil fuels, more of green energy, clean energy, and even nuclear energy, and have various answers. They were all perfectly fine. But at the end, they all came to one almost unanimous answer: electric vehicles. I was surprised. I didn't know what an electric vehicle or an EV was at that time, so I went to my neighbor who had an EV, and I asked him why he had an EV or an electric vehicle. And he said, it was for the tax credits. I'm like, come on, please tell me the real reason. And then he told me that it saves the environment. I'm like, it's a car. It produces carbon dioxide. How does it do it? So he gave me this whole lecture on how EVs are good, they use electricity and not fossil fuels, so they don't emit carbon dioxide. But I wasn't convinced. So I went on to do my own research, and I found that EVs are set to have an almost zero carbon emission on the road. But what does that even mean? That means when you drive your EV on the road or anywhere you go, they don't produce any carbon dioxide. But does that mean they don't produce any carbon dioxide at all at any point of their life? Well, to answer that, we have to look at EVs from a perspective of climate change. And the first problem arises with the source to power electric vehicles: electricity. You see, America is the world's largest producer of clean energy, and that contributes to almost 20% of the nation's entire electricity produced. Wait, 20%? Where does the other 80% come from, though? Does anyone here know that? Just give me an answer. It's okay. Shout it out.
Coal.
I heard that. Yes. Coal and natural gas are the biggest sources in America to produce electricity, which is, again, fossil fuels. So even though electric vehicles are said to have a near zero carbon emission on road, they produce just the same amount of carbon dioxide as gasoline cars, but long before they even went out of a garage. And also, they didn't just fall out of the sky into your garage, did they? They were made somewhere, manufactured. And when you look at the manufacturing process to make these electric vehicles, you realize that they are not just as harmful as regular gasoline cars, but even worse. And the second problem here is in the very heart of an electric vehicle: a battery. You see, making a battery is no easy feat. It requires enormous amounts of energy and resources, such as lithium, cobalt, nickel. And to mine these, you require tons and tons and tons of chemicals and water. So you see, when they're done mining these resources, nickel, cobalt, and lithium, the land is left nothing but a barren piece filled with chemicals unsuitable for agriculture, habitation, or just to simply live over there. And even after you're done mining these elements and ignoring all of those, you can't just put that in an electric vehicle and expect it to work. No, you have to process these elements. And that's especially done in Africa and China, where they heat these elements to temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees Celsius using electricity. And how is the electricity produced in those countries? The major source is again a fossil fuel. So, in a sense, every step of an EV production involves the production of enormous amounts of carbon dioxide. And these are just the environmental effects of electric vehicles. You see, especially the mining of cobalt in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Africa faces one of the worst human rights violations of the century. Children as young as 8 years old have been enslaved to work here in these mines for absolutely near zero compensation, and adults, they earn less than $5 a day, which pushes them into the worst, one of the worst poverties of the century. So keeping all of this in mind, to answer the million-dollar question of the night, do EVs actually stop pollution and global warming? Right now, no. But what can we do to make it better? You see, we can green the grid. And by green, I mean produce the electricity from the electric grid using natural and renewable resources such as solar energy, hydro energy, and from windmills, which are all zero carbon and much helpful for the environment. In essence, taking out the factor where EVs produce the carbon dioxide long before they drive. And also, we can increase the efficiency of these gasoline and electric vehicles. What that does is these cars and vehicles travel a much longer distance for less fuel. And that again is less carbon dioxide. So let's not just rely on electric vehicles for a much greener and cleaner earth, but let's make a more comprehensive solution to save the planet and promise a much safer place for future generations to come. Thank you everyone for being here, and have an amazing evening.